游氏恶传2》。
看他现在那么
老四来也！老四来也！《西游氏恶传2》。遁入幻境。《西游氏恶传2》。
Testing, testing. Okay, let's switch views. Right, now I'm on the camera. So, looks alright to me. Let's take myself off the camera. Now I'm a cat. And here we go. Let's try playing this. This is Oriental Legend 2 from IGS on PGM2 hardware. Hey, the controls are not focus. There we go. Too many windows. So, yeah, this was a 2008 release. There weren't many games on PGM2, and this was probably one of the better ones. It's an original game, a sequel to the Oriental Legend game that's on PGM1. And a lot of content with this one. Like many IGS games at the time, it has an internet ranking mode, so if you want to use that feature, I don't think the scoreboards are up anymore, but it was something you see in a lot of games of this period. Yeah, I think IGS took a lot of their influences from Capcom. I'd say the Knights of Valor games were probably even closer. But yeah, it's got that Knights of the Round, Dungeons and Dragons type gameplay to it. Finding myself looking at the wrong screen at the moment. Get used to that. You've got your item wheel as well, which is more like the Dungeons and Dragons game. Obviously best experience with 4 players, but that's not happening here. There are a lot of hidden pathways and the like in this one, so even if you finish it, there's plenty more to see if you find out how to trigger the various pathways and events. Some of them I think are time-based, others are just obvious arrows to different places. The cat's downstairs, I think, sleeping. It's just a camera substitute. The rear camera's there, but I'm less up for it. Anyway, that's Oriental Legend 2. I just thought something like that to start the pre-stream makes sense because it shows there's something going on. But let's have a look at something non-arcade and a lot more obscure. I'm going to look at the Game King 3. Which game? I think we'll go with Game King 3 and I think is it Search? No, Falcon Corps, I think is the one on. This was an obscure Chinese handheld with a very odd display, which means rendering it is difficult because the pixels aren't really aligned in a nice pattern for rendering it. This one I don't think I've set up with pads, so the keys. There's no sound emulation, unfortunately, but bit of a drive along and shoot things and rescue hostages, a bit like the Rambo games, really. The Game King 3 was definitely not as well known as the original Game King, which was an even stranger device because it had a tiny resolution, but was released in 2003 when the GBA was. This was the follow-up hardware, which is just as outdated, really, but it's an interesting curiosity. I don't think any of the games are special, but they would blow up the fort. Is this one I have to rescue? Yeah, that was one I had to rescue. And only 5 upwards as well, which makes this, well, frustrating. You can only fire the normal shots upwards, the missiles can go in any direction. These guys. But yeah, no sound emulation on this one, which is probably where some background music would come in handy, but I'll need to sort that out another time. And just run people over. Oh, tank. Yeah, compared to most of the Game King 3 ones, this actually plays pretty well. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's tough. Most of these are tough because you've got so little screen space to work in. And if you don't react quickly, you're picked off. And there we go. Don't get that many lives. Yep. But these were, the emulation of these was recently improved to the point where they're playable. And not many people will have seen them. I think there were only about 6 or 7 known games, but the system is compatible with the older Game King cartridges, but runs them in a strange sort of upscaled mode with the substitute colours, and doesn't get the speed quite right because it's actually quite different hardware. Give this another try. By default, these don't look quite like this in MAME. I've, well, somewhat abused the shaders to make the image a bit brighter and more visible. I don't know what the sound would be like on this one. I know in a lot of the original Game King games it's short loops of stolen music and the like, and so maybe for the purpose of the stream it's better that the sound isn't emulated. No drop frames, that's good. One of the things I wanted to test is what settings I can use to make sure there aren't any drop frames. This way the boat. Get back. What can destroy me vehicle? Oh, there we go. And destroy the boat. So yeah, I mean, I was going to wait till these had sound to do coverage, but it's been a while now. I guess there must be a few complications with getting the sound working. I think it's meant to be PWM based sound, so sound's not really my thing in terms of emulation. Can I? Oh yeah, I rescued them. They've got out. Jumped in the chopper and I've died. So yeah, let's call that one quits and have a look at one of the other Game King 3 games. That one was Falcon Corps. Let's have a look at Fly Car, which doesn't feature any flying cars. This was mislabeled as Fly Cab for a while because the box artwork shows a yellow cab and the text isn't very clear, but there are no cabs in it. There's no flying in it, even though it looks like there should be. And it's a fairly standard, handheld racer. See, the frame rate's not great. It's not on a lot of these Game King 3 games, which is one of the problems. I guess it's relatively well done if you ignore that this was released after the likes of the Game Boy Advance. There must have been some sort of market for these. Oh, that's no good. I think this does have multiple stages because I played it before and I think I finished one of them. Was a while back. But this is MAME doing non-arcade stuff, obviously, and stuff that nobody else was really doing, so it seemed natural to just have a look at these type of things. Gear change, yeah, okay, yeah, I missed that. There's a gear change at the top, isn't there? High, low. Explain. No, let's change gear once you're going fast enough. Okay. I guess I just didn't finish. 0 points. Yeah, it's not a bad little game for what it is. Have a quick look at the original Game King as well, which was a black and white system. It had a lot of 4-in-1 carts. Let's see. There we go. They say these are still marked as not working in MAME because I think because the sound's not done and the timing's not entirely trusted. But the majority of them are playable. Have a look at Air War. So you can see just how low the resolution is. Oh, that's a special move. Yeah, this isn't one of the best ones. Of course, there were systems with even lower resolution display. You've got the original Microvision, which I think was something like 32 by 32 pixels. No, Ashens did some coverage of this one where the boot logo the boot sound drove him mad after a while, but that's not an issue here. Challenge. Am I challenging? Oh, it's a puzzle game of some sort. Jump. I get to the okay. Get to these guys. I can push these. I get to the end now, can I? No. Do this. I think that one first. My push. Is it? Oh, I messed up there. I messed up. Yes. Yes, I. Okay. Controls are not the best on this game. There we go, got him. Not down there. Just here. And get to the exit. There we go. So yeah, that's challenge for the original Game King. It's not bad. It's playable. You use your imagination on some of the graphics. Let's test another layout. Let's launch TX1. Not going to control great. Here you go. A very wide screen on this one, so I did set up a wide view. From Tatsumi, this one, who did Boogie Boy, and I think it was 83. 83 when looks at it. Is the pad set up? I don't know. Not properly. Okay, that's. I thought this was set to easy already. Let's change the controller slightly. Speed up. Okay. Doing. Okay. That's the controls tweaked a little bit. Let's see how playable it is. There was a V8 version of this that has been done recently, but I don't think it's been added yet. But a very early racing game with 3 screens, much like the full-size version of Buggy Boy. It's slidey, it's got that pole position feel to it too, more so than others. It's the licensed by Atari, as you can see from the backgrounds of many of the banners. It's strange really, because Tasmi really faded away and tend to be known for rip-offs of other games, but they really were ahead of their time in some senses. You've got the dual roads here, just like Outrun, and it will branch off in the same way, but this was many years before Outrun. Doesn't have if you crash into the middle. The tunnels are obviously very like Buggy Boy. It's a similar hardware. This is set to easiest mode and I'm still crashing everywhere. It's one of those where really without the original controls it's going to be tricky. I was going to have a look at AB Cop, but Kim covered it in her latest video and said pretty much what I was going to say about it myself, which is it's a really underrated Sega game. So if anybody's checked out her video, then they've probably seen that today already. Music's very quiet here. I don't know if that's a balance problem in MAME or it's just meant to be very quiet. Let's give that another credit. Don't think I'll do much better, but I can't do much worse. The way the corners turn on this isn't the smoothest, which can be a little jarring, but again this is very early tech. It's before a lot of that was refined. Avoid the barrels and hit the car. One feature of this one people talk about is the sound, which had multiple channels, even those from behind you, and we don't actually emulate that properly yet because for whatever reason our sound output is still 2-channel. Internally all the channels are recognised, just the output system in MAME only does 2 channels right now, which probably needs addressing. Got to pretty much the same place. I guess I'm not very good at TX1. Where to go now? Right, let's get the regular layout back and quit out of this one. Bit of Mega Drive, maybe. One of my favourite games on there. Yeah, this is one I had as a kid. Saw it in a magazine, really wanted it, and found it. There's the cartridge of this somewhere, I think, but no box. There's a cheat where I think if you reset 19 times, it gives you infinite lives. A bit loud for me. Let's try that. Might not work because I let it go to the title screen first, but let's see. Infinite lives? No, it's not worked. I probably have to do it sooner. Never mind, I'll just play with the 3 lives. But yeah, this is really a reworked, reskinned version of Kaneko's arcade game, The Berlin Wall. But I find the theme on this version much more appealing, and it's a great game with 2 players. Again, no 2-player here. Well, I think it's one of the best looking games on the system for the type of game it is. Different enemy types with different patterns. If you chain the explosions, that's when you get the bonus items. This fruit machine one will do the reels at the top. Yeah, that should be some coins. Some of them give a lot of power-ups, which really helps. That should be an ability. Yeah, when you're invulnerable, you get the bonus items too. Yeah, this gets really good looking as the levels go on, and there's some great boss battles with really big bosses, lots of special effects, and when you consider it's really just taking the concept that was Space Panic in the first place by Universal and extending it, I think they managed to make a really good game here, and that's 1 life left. I've never completed that cheating. I don't know how you would. Go down very quickly. Some drop frames. Look at that later. Got myself in a corner. Oh, this is a big bonus, isn't it? Yeah. In the wrong place. That's least of a big bonus. Oh dear. The one thing I don't like is the bonus items. You can only use them in the reverse order till you pick them up. You can't actually swap between them. One down there. So if you pick up 3 bowling balls, you have to use those. Or you can use anything you picked up before them. It's not a game breaker. One of those minor things you think could they have allowed you to swap them somehow. Come on, get down. Yeah, it's a lot more polished than the arcade version, which was the Berlin Wall is. I think the Berlin Wall's still got an issue where it'll tell you using a bootleg board after a certain number of stages, unless that was patched out. It's very, very strange one. I don't know why it does it. But that's just got digitized photos as backgrounds, which just doesn't look as good. I might put that after this actually for the comparison, but I don't have really any fond memories of that version. Is there no sound? Is that better? I turned it down because it seemed a bit loud here, but yeah, I'd say the sound was a big part of this one. I'm going to get that. Okay, I guess I can turn the sound levels up in OBS as well a bit. I just don't drown myself out. Because to me, it's really quite loud in the headphones now. Okay. That's the desktop audio turned really quite high now. Okay. That's something to think about then. So yeah, that's as loud as MAME goes, and now audio on OBS is set to maximum. That's too far. Yeah, this is going to take some tweaking, especially as volume is all over the place in OBS. I mean, now this is showing us middle of green on the desktop, and the mic's going slightly into the yellow. But, okay. So if I aim for the game audio to just be touching the bottom of the yellow bar, is that a good place for it? Okay, that's thank you. That's I'll keep that one in mind, because I know that the volumes are going to be all over the place on the arcade games, and that some of the home systems, even in MAME, because emulate so much with different volume levels in the first place. Yeah, if I keep an eye on the monitor. Yeah, thank you. I do really appreciate that, because it's very difficult to judge just sat here on my own. I can play back the streams afterwards, but then I don't get to tweak the things in real time. Anyway, are you continuing? Yes, I want to just get to the boss at least, and then probably call it quits. This is Wani Wani World for the Mega Drive. Ooh, 2 speed ups. And that helps a little bit if I don't die. I should probably add a current game or current system thing somewhere too, as long as I remember to update it. I know on some of the main roulette streams people have found that useful just from watching them. Oop, I'm going to end up too fast now. I'll take the hammer. we go. I've got this power up I can go into. Yeah, it's clearly influenced by Space Panic. Can't think of too many 16-bit games that are. I don't know if there was any kind of licensing agreement with Universal for it, but this is a Kaneko one. Well, this is before the bosses. You have to just get to the top, but you can kill things and try and get power-ups if you want. Yeah, there's a certain feel to it with the vertical scrolling. You just get this at the end of each world before the boss, which it does help mix things up a bit. Without the cheats, I'm not going to get very far in this. But with the speed power up, it's a bit tricky. Here we go, final ladder. Yeah, there are a few games with bubble-like sprites. There's the NES one, I can't remember the title. Devil's something. See, the bosses take 2 tiles to drop, which means the power-ups are kind of handy. Anyway, that's that game. I won't continue. I will put on the Berlin Wall, which is the arcade that Kaneko did. But oh, that seems very loud to me. But it's just not the same. It's not got that really cute factor to it. I mean, in this version, you just got this builder, construction worker guy. There's a clone where, yeah, this has got separate dig and fill-in buttons as well. So this is a bit closer to Space Panic, really. To me, this version, the arcade, it really doesn't do it. But there are some of the same enemies in it. Yeah, there's a clone of this too with a different theme. I think this is the Korean version. Yeah, this has got these characters instead, which I think works a bit better, but it's still got the same dual digitized photos or backgrounds. So yeah, I do like Space Panic and the other sort of dig hole games. There was a Roland one, wasn't on the CBC. Was it just Roland Goes Digging, I think, with the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs tune. Played quite a bit of that one. No, a lot of them didn't. The hardware for the Berlin Wall was actually specifically designed for showing photos in the background. It's a non-RGB background, so yeah, the Pang sequels, there are quite a few Neo Geo games that had that pre-rendered look as well. It didn't really work. Shock Troopers 2 doesn't feel a patch on the original because the pre-rendered art, it didn't look great at the time. The palette for the Neo Geo is not really strong enough to support that look. are definitely some that look okay. I'm trying to think of them, but some of the Psycho games went for a pre-rendered look, and they had the palette to support it. Psycho was less than This one seems very quiet again. You see here, the pre-rendered graphics look alright. It's not so much photos, but there's enough colours for the shading to actually still hold up. And obviously it's a nice piece of hardware. The Psycho SH2 platform, it's got all these blending effects used for the clouds here. It's a newer platform, obviously, but it means they can use pre-rendered art, and it looks okay. Hope you're paying attention. I think, in terms of the series, this one's my favourite, and for a fairly direct comparison, this was ported to the Neo Geo with some modifications as 1945 plus. And it doesn't look anywhere near as good. The tank sequels do play well, though. I think Kim's saying they were some of her favourites on the CPS platform, and you can see why. But yeah, that look hasn't aged well at all, really. I like looking at these games, but I am absolutely terrible at playing. I was quite impressed by Cypher actually getting so far in Death's Miles, because that's considered one of the easy ones, and I think I finished it once, just... I think one of the reasons I didn't like the CPS2 1944 clone is because it felt maybe too close to those older games. It wasn't hectic enough, but I can definitely appreciate the opinion. Maybe these are a bit too busy, a bit too much going on. You know, not actually knowing how big your hitbox is, where it is. Not going to appeal to everybody. In terms of this platform, though, I think my favourite game on the platform is probably not even one of the shooters. It's probably Gunbarrage, which was a Gunbird spin-off, and it's sort of an Arkanoid pinball game. But I'll put that on actually. It's one that doesn't really get talked about much, but again, it's very cute. Yeah, you can see the Gunbird characters. It's just great blocks. Again, you've got all the fading effects. You use the pinball flippers to accelerate the ball, and then you can curve it, and there's some... Again, maybe... Yeah, I've tried to put the keyboard on a softer surface to stop that, but it's not really helped, and I've tried changing cutoff settings. I'm not really sure the best way to fix that. Probably best if I play some of the games on pad because I can hold that further away, but that requires a little more pre-setup and not just playing whichever game comes to mind. I did pre-set up a few of them, but wasn't really sure what I'd be running. Alright, that's good to know. I guess it's, yeah, it'll probably run on typing the game names between the games because I do use the command line build because it's the one I use for development. Yeah, as far as breakout pinball hybrids go, I think this one deserves more attention than it gets. It's not ignored or overlooked completely because it's from a well-known developer, but it's from a time when arcades were really on the decline and when Psycho were pretty much going out of business. It shares a few things with Dragon Blaze in terms of the pastely explosions. Yeah, the flippers power up the ball when you use them, and then you can use the left and right to actually steer the ball, which again makes I think that improves the basic Arkanoid formula where you can spend ages just trying to get one block. It's not the first game to do it. I think Sega's Free Kick comes to mind, but that one is a very difficult game for other reasons. Big Ass and their sequel, I can't remember the title off right now. Okay. Is that better? I think I have to try and keep it at the bottom of the yellow. I know there are some systems where it's going to be a pain to just get it loud enough, I think, so I'm going to have to look at that too. The Zavix plug-and-play ones are very quiet. There's just the various audio level meters. One's desktop audio, the other's mic. OBS doesn't seem to allow you to select specific windows of inputs for the audio, but it also means I have to turn off all the other desktop sounds so there's no interference. But right, this one's I'm going to put one on now that is going to be probably far too quiet, but I just want to try it. Yeah, graphic volume thing. It does tell you. It's got a little mark of what the peak, the maximum hit was recently. They definitely looked at what people need and made sure it's there. But yeah, this is barely hit now. This is only just up there. I'm not looking close to. This is just a music game, by the way, which means I'm going to be terrible at it. The controls are not set to what I thought they were. No. So this is fine. That's actually good to know because yeah, I've been working on the emulation of quite a few of these, and they've always felt a little bit on the quiet side. But these are, say, weird Japanese plug-in TV games. And this is a music one where you have to just press the buttons at the right time. This is actually the sequel, Popera 2, which use player 1 and player 2 pads to try and do 8 at the same time, but like most music games, I struggle with even just the basic mode. Lots of cartridges are released for these though, so you've got ones with Japanese TV theme tunes and all sorts. It's sort of a spin-off of the eCava karaoke games, where some cards were released which support that and this. Yeah, you have to have a basic sense of rhythm and timing too, though, so I don't know. I do find this one actually quite relaxing, even though I'm not very good at it. If I just want to sit down and pass some time, I'll put something like this on and just... For some reason, I find it helps focus, especially on the easier songs, where I can just do this while thinking about something else. So I wanted to see how it would be on the stream as well. But if I'm watching the chat, then I'm missing the rules. On these earlier levels, not so much. On the later levels, you notice it a bit more. I think it's like a lot of these music games. On the easy ones, it's just a case of here is something, try and hit it. The sound emulation isn't perfect either, but it was, so there's no documentation, we had to reverse it all from scratch. But, yeah, that's that one. Was there anything else? Not really. I think I'm going to call it here anyway. So thanks for helping out with this, because you know it's helped me know whereabouts the volume should be and everything else, and giving me an idea of how people are hearing it. So all right, take care and enjoy the rest of your evening too. Then I'm going to quit now. So bye.